What's good with y'all, man? So today, like the title say, we're gonna talk about 3 ways how you can become more mentally advanced than you ever been. We're gonna talk about number one. Number one is isolation. It's basically when you alone and when you take time to figure out yourself instead of being surrounded by a whole bunch of people. Other people's opinions, perspectives can end up rubbing up on you. Me personally, me just being around a whole bunch of people, the more as I had dolo, ended up switching to when I started hanging around people. And a lot of things in my life ended up changing. I started accepting a lot of negative things, started doing a lot of negative things that I knew personally my conscience didn't want to do, but I ended up accepting it and growing into over time. The example could be, most time a lot of people end up growing up in church, like me specifically. And then when you get older, you get into drugs, guns, start chasing money and things of that nature. Isolation could be a time where boom, I'm in the gym right now, dolo. Ain't not one person in here, you feel me? But I'm getting there in dolo though. I'm pushing myself to a certain limit, a certain standard in my mind, you feel me? To where, say somebody else is here, I will only be able to push to the limits to where he's pushing me or to where I feel like I gotta keep up with. But when you first dolo and you train your mind mentally to be isolated, that's when you take time to figure out who you is without other people around, without other people's perspective. If I'm in here and brother, I'm working out with somebody and brother push me, he like, oh, you could go harder, you could go harder. The whole time, me personally, myself, I was never isolated. It took the time to battle the obstacles or figure out who I am in the gym alone. Then when he leave, I'm not gonna be able to have that same mentality, that same push, that same stand to what I would do if he was here. So that's another thing, that's the first thing, isolation, bro. Isolation, a lot of people need to be isolated because we end up chasing the things that we feel like are more important, but the whole time we need to figure out who we truly are, what we stand for as humans without other people's opinions or without other people around. Ask yourself, could you even go to a restaurant and sit by yourself without having somebody in front of you, having somebody beside you? Could you even go outside without just walking outside, just enjoying life peacefully without having somebody around you, somebody beside you? That's things we need to think about. Look yourself in the mirror and truly ask yourself like, bro, is the people around me affecting me to where I'm doing things I don't even want to do, to ways I know I could be better in, but I feel like I'm being held back? Isolation plays a big part, bro. A lot of people, majority, at least 50 to 65% of people in life, I feel like, from my age range, can't live alone, can't truly enjoy life by themselves without always having company, having people around, always having to go out with just people, you feel me? Can't never just enjoy life themselves. So that's number one right there, isolation, bro. Figure out who you is, figure out your morals and what you stand for. And I encourage everybody to get isolated, get from around people, figure out who you is as a human. You live alone, and when you come up out of this body, you in a casket alone. And everything you did, most of the people who out here killing, them 5 people ain't in a jail cell with that one person. That one person really got to think of their conscience. But at the same time, say they never would have hopped in a car. You feel me? And I ain't trying to just talk about negative things, but it's just realistic though. Say that one person would just stand firm in their morals, stand firm and not caring about what other people say. You feel me? Stay true to themselves the whole time, they wouldn't be in that position. Now they the only ones who got to think day in, day out in a jail cell. You feel me? Or some people even end up in a casket. You feel me? They got to think of that each and every day. So where if you would have just stood true, isolated yourself at one point and stop worrying about what everybody else doing, figure out who care about what you trying to live and how you trying to live, you would have been 10 times bigger, bro. So that's your isolation right there. So for number 2, to take you mentally higher and advanced than you ever been is self-control. Self-control is one of them things to where, bro, it's hard. I ain't gonna say it's hard, but sometimes, bro, in certain situations and areas, bro, that don't really do be hard to control yourself. But once you learn how to self-control, it can really take you to a whole nother level, cuz. Let's just bring up an example. Me personally, 3 things that I feel like probably hinder me from having self-control could be me worrying about opinions, drugs, substances, you feel me? And let me say, emotions. You feel me? I will always react out of my emotions sometimes, say certain things I ain't want to say just for the fact that pride, areas, you feel me, life situations that's going on, cuz. But now, bro, me having self-control, me being able to control what I do, control what I stand for, control how I move, it'll take you to a whole nother level, cuz. You got to think about it. Say, for instance, you feel me? It's gonna sound a little weird, but just put it in perspective though. Say, boom, one day you just having a regular day walking, and one dude just smack you, you feel me? And you just by yourself. But you say, all right, ain't nobody looking around, you feel me? I'ma just walk home, mind my business, you feel me? They just tweaking with you. And you just go ahead and walk home. You ain't worried about nobody opinion. You ain't worried about what nobody thinking. At the same time, that person felt like they did what they had to do. It brought them nothing. But at the same time, you able to make it home to your people. Just chill off of the fact that you ain't react. You just move how you move, stay calm and collect, you feel me? And just handle your business. Now you're able to still live a peaceful life. Not have to worry about nothing, you feel me? You feel me? Like, I ain't gonna say I have to worry about nothing, but you know, at the same time, next time, you know, just to watch out around, just don't react, you feel me? You know, if somebody tweaking with you, just go ahead, or you see somebody in a certain type of situation, you just go ahead and move the other way. Now, let's talk about number two. Let's talk about the number two person. Say, boom, it's a whole bunch of people around, cameras out, and somebody just smack you, cuff. And you smack them back, but you end up doing them worse than they had planned to do you. Now, the whole time, that situation escalated off of pride because the people around, you were scared of judgment, and you didn't want to hear what nobody else would have had to say, instead of you just being a person by yourself, you feel me, not having about worry about nobody's opinions, worry about who around watching, you feel me. You chose to go out of emotion. You chose to let your pride handle, you feel me, off of the fact that people, opinions, judgment, and things would have came upon you. But now, off of that situation, now you have something bigger to worry about. Because at the same time, even though that person should have never did what they did, out of your self-control and you not reacting out of emotion, you could have just walked off. In 2 weeks, they would have forgot about that video. In 2 weeks, they would have forgot all about what happened. But now you choose to, you and that dude personally may have something going on outside of when all these cameras and things are off. The first person walked away and would have had nothing to worry about because the person who did something to him felt like they did what they had to do and moved on. Both of y'all moved on, you feel me? Because you played your part and was the bigger person. Now look at person number two. When all the cameras, I don't know why it's thundering so loud. But when the cameras, when all the people from around who was watching, who was hyping you up to go ahead and get your get back, do what you needed to do, now you have to live personally with back and forth tension from the person. So now when you go home, you can't sleep at night, you feel me? You can't sleep peacefully. Some people can, but at the same time, now you got a target on both of y'all back. You trying to get him, he trying to get you out of emotion instead of just being like the first person, not worrying about nobody's opinions, you feel me? Just being self-controlled, you feel me? That's just a little example. If you understand, you do. If you don't, you don't, you feel me? It's just life scenarios that can happen. Some people say certain things to me, I just have to learn how to walk away. Because instead of me saying something back, causing more tension, it'll just be more peaceful. Instead of me not reacting to my emotion, I just go ahead and carry on my life. Let's talk about drugs and substances. Me personally, liquor, weed, when I used to do back then, I ain't did that in 2 years, you feel me? Not to boast of get bigger than whoever do. But those things used to hinder my mind, hinder my thoughts and my action towards how I treat people, how I used to even treat my mama, bro. How I used to treat my girl, family, all type of stuff. I felt like I was bigger than I was. I felt like I couldn't control myself, but at the same time, the substance was controlling me. Now I'm sober. I'm able to see that whole time what I was putting into my body was not benefiting me. It was devaluing my own self, twin. So at the same time, if you ever notice when a lot of drama, a lot of things can happen when people are off substances because they're not self-controlled. They're not in a right state of mind to where they can't think properly. They can't think productive. They can't think would it be the better move. All they is being controlled by a substance, bro. And that's just one of them things as humans. So as some people do, some people don't. Me personally, I'm gonna speak from my perspective and my experience, where that's what hindered me and what made me devalue myself. You feel me? Self-control also plays a lot of things with number one, isolation, bro. When you isolate it, like I said, when you stand on your morals, you stand on your values, you're able to control yourself and stand firm in situations to where somebody may try to put you in. You already know to stand firm, and out of your emotion, you know deep down in your morals, you don't want to do that. You feel me? A lot of people get hindered up in doing things that they don't want to do, but they rather just feel accepted. I was one of them people. I wanted to be accepted. That's not what I strive for, but I could catch myself sometimes being like, if I said, nah, such and such to say this, such and such to be like this, people will react to this. Nah, bro. Like, at the same time, life, like I say, you live one life, you get one casket, twins. Y'all learn how to control yourselves, you will be on a whole different place. You feel me? You'll be on a whole different space mentally, bro. Self-control and isolation. These are the two things, you feel me? And I'm gonna talk about number 3 when I get to my next location. You feel me? We're gonna talk about number 3. Number 3, in my opinion, took me to one of the highest standards I feel like I am in life. Isolation was the lead off. Self-control was like the second stage. Number 3 is finding purpose. I'm gonna just break down a little piece of my story to help me find purpose and find out, you feel me, things that help me get to where I am. Man, you feel me? Hopefully it can help y'all find y'all purpose. If y'all just think of a situation in y'all life and y'all just be like, dang, the whole time God put me to find this purpose in my life, you feel me? At the same time, I'm still young though. I'm still trying to figure out what God got for me on this earth. But I'm on a path to finding it though, you feel me? Off of the fact that me being isolated, I figured out who I am. Number 2, being self-control, I know what I stand for. I know who I am in a room full of people. I know when to walk in, and I know who I'm gonna be. I know I ain't finna follow everybody else. I know I'm finna be me, you feel me? So number 3 is finding purpose. So the backstory of me finding purpose was boom. Y'all see in the first vid, I ended up getting shot. I got shot 8 times. This ain't the topic though, but this is just a story, you feel me, that just really changed my life around and really helped me get on the path I am. That's why I ain't mad at what happened. I'm actually glad I got shot, bro. It's a story to tell to help motivate other people. And at the same time, it's also a beautiful way of living. You feel me? I walk around with scars and people ask how that happened. I get to tell them how God brought me through what he brought me through. So, number 3 is finding purpose. My purpose wasn't things of this world. My purpose wasn't clothes, money, cars, drugs, you feel me? Women, all them type of things. The whole time. Oh, football too. Let me not forget football. So when I felt like all of these things got taken from me because my only purpose and value was in the things that was temporary, I was lost, bro. And that go back to isolation. This is how I got isolated. When I felt like everything got taken away from me that I felt like was my purpose. You feel me? So the whole time, this might be a little thing for y'all. A lot of things that may be taken out your life right now, that may still not be there, that may you feel like may be getting removed, whether it be people, whether it be that job you in, whether it even be your own household, cause whole time God could be stripping something. God could be stripping that, taking it out your life, not for your destruction, but for your benefit. At the same time, as humans, it's hard for us to see purpose and value or why we losing certain things in the moment because it feel like it hurt. Bro, it may even mess you up for some weeks, cause even a month, you feel me? It could be death, it could be all type of stuff, bro. It could be your best friend, y'all just start talking, and you may be looking like, God, why this happening? You feel me? Why is this going like this? But the whole time it's for your own benefit. You just gotta trust the process. A lot of ways, especially as young people, we always just living in the moment. It's cool to live in the moment. People say live it up, twin. At the same time, the quicker you try to get your life and rush your life, the quicker it could be over with. At the same time, you can still pace yourself. I don't think us young people feel like we could live till we about 70, 80 years old no more. Everybody just see so many of us dying. We see everything happen to us jail, but the whole time we not understanding that us trying to rush our lives is the reason why we getting put in these positions. Sometimes these positions could just be how you grew up. Sometimes these positions could just be default, you feel me? But God gonna make a way. You just gotta trust the process and continue to live right though. A lot of people accept that living wrong, and now when their life messed up, the excuse is, oh, I ain't know. You knew mentally in your conscience, but you just ain't choose to wait. You just ain't choose to strive to be better. You feel me? So when I got everything taken from me, bruh, how I started with boom, I was like, I ain't got nothing. Lord, like, when you at the bottom and you at your lowest of lowest, the only person you gonna have to call to is God. When you see family can't do nothing, when I see in the hospital my mama couldn't do nothing for me, she couldn't help me, she couldn't save my life on that ground, the only person you gonna call on is God. But at the same time, this ain't a calling for the only call on God when you at your lowest. Appreciate and call on God when you at your highest too. Because if you only call on God at your lowest, and then when everything get back right and you don't call on him, you just using him at this point. He ain't no 911 call. You feel me? But this what I did. I 911 called him though, and he answered though. So after that, when I got to my highest, when he started leading me into my purpose, when he started leading me into things to where I started seeing my life develop and benefiting from my destruction, that what I felt like was the whole time, I see everything he took. I see them bullets that he gave me, you feel me, was peace, bro. He was leading me all the way to a whole different type of lifestyle. 2 years from now, bro, I'm fully healed. I'm bigger, faster, stronger, mentally, physically, and spiritually stronger than I was from when I was just hurt in the hospital thinking I'm finna pass away. That's how God works, cuz. There's a calling for your life, whoever watching this, cuz. You may be saying like you going through the most right now. Bro, just give it like 2 years, give it like a year, even give it 3 months, and just watch what God do if you continue to just settle down, find purpose in him. That's really the number 3 thing. I was just bluffing. Find purpose in God. Find purpose in reading your Bible. Find purpose in seeking things that aren't just temporary. Find purpose in enjoying your life with your family. Don't just find purpose in going outside, living for temporary fun. Eventually, all that's going to come to an end when you're 50. Eventually, all that's going to get old, bro. Find your purpose now while you're young. Enjoy your life. Live in peace. Appreciate who around you feel me? And if they get taken out, still love them from a distance, you feel me? Not everybody who we love benefit us. Not everybody who around us benefit us at the same time. They actions, they presence may not even be pushing us to be better than what we supposed to be where we at, you feel me? Whole time we got to think about it. Just because you around them, are you ask yourself, is the people I'm around, am I gaining anything from them? Not saying you using them or they using you, or they y'all pushing each other to be better. Sometimes it don't even got to be words, but somebody's actions could just benefit you to be better. That purpose and that person who you're around, or you just being smarter, they could benefit you to be better. Whole time, say a person never gave no money to a homeless person before, and you just got that one person in the car, and they say, give them $5. You feel me? You probably won't never talk that, but just off of their positive action, now you giving money to the homeless. That's examples, you feel me? Say a whole time person never hit the gym before. You around them, you feel me? Now you hitting the gym. You was tired of being fat, but now whole time you just seeing and being around a positive presence ended up changing your life, and now you going ahead being 10 times stronger, being something deeper and bigger than you ever thought you was. So you feel me? I know the whole vid, I was off topic though, but at the same time, I hope whoever watched this could get something from it, gain some knowledge and value from this joint though, no doubt.